Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. A little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And I was really worried about what I was going to talk about tonight. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. And part of me was thinking, well, I could jump on what's the news of the day. I could move around, or I could just, decide to do an AMA. But I thought the thing that always bugs me, that I'm always yapping about, that I'm always upset and bothered about is judges. That's kind of my thing, isn't it? Yes, I've been burned by so many judges that I'm always yapping about judges. So I thought to myself, Trump is doing so much stuff, right? And I complain all the time. He keeps doing stuff, so I got to keep talking about him, even when I don't want to talk about him. I gotta have to, because he keeps doing stuff, right? So, okay, now I got to figure out he's doing stuff. But here's what's been happening. Judges have been telling him that he can't do stuff. They've been saying to him and Elon Musk, can't do stuff. It is illegal. Yes, I'm using that with air quotes because you know how much I care about things being illegal. So it's illegal and it's wrong and blah, blah, blah. So I thought to myself, what if it were me? What if he was asking my opinion? What if I was the president or anything like that? And I'm trying to fix something that is clearly virtually unfixable. And now we want to adjust that and fix the thing. And now the system itself is trying to try to stop me. Should I ignore the judges? And there's an issue, right? Because once you start ignoring judges, you are saying nothing can stop me. You're saying that. But what happens when the judges are part of the problem? And they are. Let's be very clear. Our garbage judges are part of the problem. That's 100% true. They don't care what happens to any American. They care only about the system, and we must keep the system good, and that's all that matters. They don't think past 5 minutes on whether it will destroy the country. They don't care. So they are part of the problem. So should he begin to ignore them? And I thought, all right, maybe the Democrats have an answer. Maybe someone has an answer. So I looked for it real fast. And what did I find? Well, here's what I found. This is the Democrats trying to stop Trump because they're going to fight him now. I don't know if you knew that. You probably didn't, because no one does. But the Democrats are going to fight Trump. They're going to get him using all of their tools that they say they have. They're going to use all those tools. And here is them using one of their amazing tools, the tool known as Chuck Schumer. Is that a tool? Not sure it is, but they think it is. So here is Chuck
doing
everybody. His work.
Don't you wish for the old Mitch McConnell days when they had shorter Q&A?
Okay, that was a joke he just told. I know how embarrassing that is. But I want you to imagine for yourself 1 second. This is your political party, and you are saying the world is ending. So who are you going to send out? This guy. This is your A team. This is your A team. The guy who has to read.
So
they want questions.
Yeah, they like questions. So in his first 3 weeks in office, Donald Trump has waged a scorched earth.
He's literally got his head down just reading it. This is what Democrats consider charisma. I'm not joking. He's got his head down and he's reading. Now, what if it's me and I run Democratic Party and I know this guy Chuck Schumer's it? The first thing I tell him is, Chuck, you're not going out there. You're not going out there. Get anybody with any charisma out there. You're not going out, period. And he go, I'm the senator. I'm top of the. I am going to go online and roast your stupid old ass if you go out there. You're not destroying my party. That's what I will be telling him. Do they do that? No. Why not? Why wouldn't they throw out someone with more charisma out there? Why isn't AOC out there? She got more charisma than him. Why isn't anybody out there? Bernie has more charisma than him. Throw Bernie out there. Elizabeth Warren has more charisma than him. Throw anybody out there. I don't care who. Throw someone else out there. Why? Because the establishment and seniority is all they care about. And this proves it. This proves it. He keeps going out. Why? Because he is the minority leader. That's the reason. It doesn't matter if he's good at what he does. He's utterly horrible.
Campaign against the rule of law. Yesterday, at least 5 rulings were handed down in federal court against the president's brazen conduct in office.
So his response is not that what the president is doing is wrong or bad for America, which is what, if he believed that he should be saying, right? He should be saying Trump is bad because of the way it's going to hurt Americans. Doesn't say that. Or here is what Democrats say is what we should be doing. No, he just goes, it's illegal.
Including his attempts to freeze trillions of dollars in federal funding at OMB and his heartless decision to cut billions in medical research through NIH, cutting in.
He doesn't even know how to read that. This is embarrassing. And the Democrats thought this was a good idea. This party's broken. This party's in trouble.
Included in his lawful attempts to hollow out the government as well. Listen.
Now, hollow out the government, cut funding. That's what he's talking about.
These are temporary and a mere step in a long process that must play out. But so far, the courts, the overwhelming majority of courts, have put a hold on Donald Trump's illegal actions. And of course, then we'll go forward and see the debate on the merits.
None of this is exciting. No Democrats are excited about this. None of you knew this happened, right? This is the first time all of you have seen this. Why? Because nobody cares. It's on PBS NewsHour. Yes, I'm sorry. I look for these things. I know. It's kind of what I do. So yes, I actually look for this. This is the part that's embarrassing.
But we're optimistic about those winning those as well, because the law is so much on our side.
And that's what matters. He only cares that the law is on his side. Where is the it's bad for Americans? He's not saying that.
The trend is clear.
Tell me.
Donald Trump cannot bulldoze his way through the rule of law.
Now, he says the trend is clear. Donald Trump cannot bulldoze his way through the rule of law. Looks like you're wrong. Looks like he actually can. And I'm going to cover that in a second.
That's what the courts in America are saying.
Yeah, but no one's paying attention.
Donald Trump isn't allowed to break the law to achieve those goals.
Okay, he's already a felon. You've made sure of that. You've already impeached him twice. You've made sure of that. The country knows he breaks the law, and the country voted for him as president, knowing that he broke the law, knowing that he was president before, and they still did. I got a feeling you're on the wrong side of this one.
That's not how America works.
Kind of how it does.
My Republican colleagues should not sit idly by while he does it. Now,
so the Republicans, in his eyes, should now turn on the guy who got them this victory, the guy who got them the House and the Senate, the guy who is now putting them in the spots. They should turn because the law. Now you might go, but Larry, the law is important. Not when all it does is screw you. No, the system is not working. The system is failing. Why would I care about it? Our founding documents literally say when a government isn't working, we can change it. That's what the government says. That's what our founding documents say.
In 5 weeks, funding for the federal government will run out. Let's remember that when there's talk about a Republican shutdown, President Trump and Republicans are already shutting down large chunks of the government.
And people aren't unhappy. And here's the worst part. He's just reading this. Why did you not give it to somebody else? This guy is a lens louse. He just can't not be in front of a lens.
Democrats do not want to shut the government down, but the Republicans are in charge, and they should fund the government.
Well, yes. Leave him alone.
Since the inauguration, President Trump and Republicans have been actively working to shut down the government entirely on their own. None of this is new stuff.
All right. I don't have to go any further. None of this is anything new, right? It's the same garbage that they've been talking about forever. None of it's new. I'll zip ahead a little bit because he just now begins to say bad things about
your country.
Trump is bad because it is.
Believe that our national security should be paramount for the head of national security agencies. You cannot, in good conscience, vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
So now he insults Tulsi Gabbard, that she's wrong. And now, according to him again, imagine, why were you saying this, right? He's actually saying, hey, if you're a Republican, you should stick with us Democrats and get rid of Tulsi Gabbard. What? Like, he knows that can't happen. So what is the goal of this? Like, it's just more shaming, more shaming. That's all it is. He then, of course, he insults that. He insults
Full
RFK
stop.
Jr.
Each year. It
And
is
then-
extreme.
And then this idiot shows
thank
up
you,
next.
Mr. Leader.
Another one, no charisma at all. They went, you know what? We want to impress Democrats and motivate them. What should we do? Let's get the absolute least charismatic people who just read shit. Let's do that. And they went, that's a good idea. And then did that. But the worst part is, why is there not a Democratic coup internally against them? This is how it shows how bad the Democratic Party is. They may say, Larry, why are you beating Democrats so badly? You don't use just hammer Democrats. I'm going to be very forward with you on this one. And this may seem odd. All right. The Democratic Party is clearly broken. How do I know that? This doesn't work, hasn't worked, is utterly broken, and no one's stopping it. When the Republicans were screwing around, there was an undercurrent that pushed back. The Republican Party, at least you can push back. Something. You can push back. It exists. Democrats, there's no pushback. You will do as we say, period. We have learned nothing. We are in charge. Go to hell. That's who they are now. And they wonder why so many Democrats have left the party. Why so many have just left the party. This part drives me nuts. It's not a real party. It's an authoritarian something or other. And again, I'm old enough to remember when the Democratic Party wasn't this way. It wasn't always this way. It is clearly this way. It is terribly bad that they put this out as their answer. And they think it's working. Like this is, they said this was a good idea. Like they thought this through. They wrote it out. Like this is a press conference they put out. They wrote it out. They decided who was going to be there. This was like planned. And this is what you get. That's embarrassing.
We have a funding deadline fast approaching, and we need a top line very soon to be able to write and pass our bills. I remain at the table with my Democratic counterpart in the House to get a result so we can move forward. But it is extremely difficult to land an agreement on top lines, much less our annual bills, when you have a president and an unelected billionaire ignoring the very agreements we...
All they say is unelected billionaire, unelected, not valuable. They think that matters. All right. So they've attacked Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, all those people, right? So obviously it looks bad for Republicans, right? They're in trouble, right? They're not at all. And Democrats haven't gotten this. This is coming from Bloomberg, and this is today, about 4 hours ago. This is 4 hours ago from Bloomberg. 4 hours ago from Bloomberg. So they had already said their stupid stuff. They'd already been shamed. They've already done all the shaming and everything. And here is what they believe.
He's in a really good place. And he's in a better place than he was in 2017. And so if you take the average of the polling, not just Ipsos, but all of us, it's around 48, 49%.
I want you to hear what he just said. If you take the average of all the polling done, this is Bloomberg, 4 hours ago, he says he's around 48, 49% approval rating. That's insane. That's insane. If this was 20 years ago and Trump is doing this, he's at like 15%. If he had won, he couldn't have won 20 years ago, but in theory, if he had won 20 years ago and he was doing this, he would be at like 15% approval rate. People would be going crazy. They're okay with it now. He's at 48%. And according to Chuck Schumer, which you just saw, that's from today, he is illegal, and the judges are telling him that he's wrong, and he's the worst guy in the world. Yet half America says, all good. Keep going. All good. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe he should start ignoring some judges. But here we go.
Rating. That's really strong in a hyper-polarized world.
That's the
world
key.
Like that we live in.
Hyper-polarized. If you can pull 48 to 49% approval rating in today's world, oh my God.
In 2017, it was 41%. So Trump 2.0, in my evaluation, is much more robust, much more muscular, and he has a much stronger coalition than he did in 2017.
Well,
And that goes back to, and I'll say it again, and some of you won't like it, but I don't care, it's true. This goes back to RFK Jr. The concept of RFK Jr. making this unity ticket, which is exactly what he's talking about, the coalition, that's what he means. It's the Tulsi Gabbard, the Elon Musk, the RFK Jr., all beginning with RFK Jr. Trump can't do what he's doing now the same way without RFK and the rest jumping on board. He cannot. This unity ticket is what made him able to do what he's doing. It's because of that.
so when we take a good starting position, I guess, just how difficult historically has a good start been to hold on to? I think we all remember early on in President Biden's term, approval pretty good. Post-Afghanistan withdrawal, it precipitously dropped, and it really never recovered after that.
That's true, right? To be forward, Biden started pretty good too. He did. Not as good as this, but he started pretty good too. That's true. He did. And then off a cliff, right? That's true. He did start good. I'll give him that.
What does history suggest about patterns here?
Yeah, time is not your friend when you're a president and we're looking at your approval ratings. But basically, he's in his honeymoon period. This is the period when Americans writ large will give him the benefit of the doubt, give the president the benefit of the doubt. What we know is the following. Presidents typically have about 6 months before approval ratings begin to decline more precipitously. On average, a decline is between 5 and 7 points.
So they say he's got 6 months, but I'm telling you what he's doing. And I told you this before, and I mean this. He's trying to give as much red meat as he can because he wants to go more than a year. He wants it to go up more than a year. That's what he wants because he knows the odds are things are going to go south coming up here soon economically. He wants to push through it, and he wants people to be able to believe in him for the next year. That's what he's trying to achieve. Can he make it happen? I don't know. But it's clear that's what he's trying to do.
And we will see, obviously, because, he might buck the trend. But really, he has those 6 months to get things done and get his agenda pushed through.
Well, he certainly isn't waiting 6 months to try to get things done. He didn't even wait 6 hours, arguably, after he was inaugurated. So if we could get into some of his initiatives, beginning with the one that we've paid a lot of attention to here at Bloomberg, considering the cast of characters involved, the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon Musk and these wider efforts to trim down the size of the federal government. So far, is this popular?
Elon Musk too.
Yeah, it is popular, and indeed.
So he's saying even Musk is popular. This is my point. Even Musk is popular. This is the piece I'm bringing up. You just heard the Democrats today saying, oh, the unelected billionaire, Republicans, you should abandon these people and come to us. What do you have to offer, Democrats? What is your answer for this problem? Nothing. There is no answer. There's none. Why aren't Democrats walking away and going to the far left? Again, I'm not far left. It doesn't matter. The far left has answers. It does. Answers I don't like, but they have answers. So why aren't they rushing to the far left? Why? No money there. That's the reason. Because there's no money there. Because they're all grifting. And the money is in the Democratic Party. It's not on the Green Party. It's not in the far left. There's no cash there. That's the reason. Otherwise, they would go there. So that's why they're not.
We pulled on a whole host of executive orders. Some aren't very popular. Some are.
Okay, by the way, look at the one that's not popular. J, the day after 5. Yeah, that I said it was a bad idea then to just do a blanket pardon. It was a terrible idea. It still is a terrible idea. And you can see it there. That was a mistake. He should not have done that. He used up political capital for nothing. That was a bad idea. He should not have done that, right? But he did. It's over. But look, he took a smack for that. That was a bad one.
Those linked to government efficiency, saving the public's money, are very popular. They're above 60%, which is strong. And once again, in a highly polarized America.
And you are hearing Chuck Schumer go, and it's bad, and he's hurting people. It's at 60%. 60. What in America is at 60%?
Public opinion in general is supporting at this moment those efforts.
Even the efforts being led by Elon Musk, I do wonder if there's any data on how people feel.
Now, she's trying to say, but they hate Musk, right? Because Democrats have told me today that Americans hate Musk, that he's a bad guy, and that everyone hates him. So tell me that Americans hate Musk.
About him specifically as an unelected individual who was playing such a big role here.
People support those efforts. And Elon Musk, when you look across the board, the political figures, let's treat him as a political figure in this case,
Sure.
Across the board, he has pretty good favorability scores. High 30s, low 40s. Once again, that's a good place to be in a highly polarized.
What? That's impossible. Chuck Schumer just told me everybody hates him. What? That's it. This guy must be lying. There's no way Chuck Schumer could be wrong. I mean, he read that thing, didn't he? I don't understand. He read from a piece of paper. Chuck Schumer must know what he's talking about.
America like we see today.
Okay, so if what he is doing is popular, what's on the unpopular side of what we've seen so far? What is least popular?
Well, you know, the administration has backtracked, right? And when they froze all funding to basically grants and services, they backtracked. They reversed the order. Only 20% of Americans agree with that executive order. So that's an example. Like when it really hits the pocketbook, when it affects sort of children or the.
There we go. That now we're making some sense at least, right? And this is my point. The Democrats don't listen to me either. I mean, none of these guys do. They should. But the Democrats don't listen to me either. What Democrats should be doing is expressing how it's hurting the children or whatever the case may be. And then here is the Democratic answer to fix this. But they don't and don't have one. So that's why they can't do that. But you think they would, but they won't. So let me go to one more, which I think you may enjoy. This is the last one. Then I'm gonna get to your comments, I promise. I will get to your comments, I promise. I just want to grab this last one before I move on, because I know some of you have a lot to show. I know. But this is from Fox News today. Again, this is today.
Reactions have spiked compared to last term.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's just from CNN.
Entire first term, just 11 days, Donald Trump had a net positive approval rating. Compare that to the second term, just so far, every single day of Trump's second term so far, he has been on the positive side of the ledger.
We go.
21 days, all 3 weeks. So again, this is just another sign that Americans are far more likely to like what they're seeing in his second term than they were during.
And the host is like, I can't believe this. I'm at CNN. I'm a woman at CNN who has 3 names. And that means that I'm educated and smart and have like 5 degrees. Therefore, I'm smarter than all of you. And so whatever I say is correct.
In his first term.
I love the jazz hands.
See? I can't believe
He's
it.
trying to demonstrate how the numbers have gone up.
This is Gen Z. Look at Gen Z. And this ended February 7th, 4 days ago. 55% approval. Let me repeat that for those of you who are just listening and not watching my insanely handsome face. You would be seeing on a screen Trump's job approval, Gen Z, that ended February 7th of this year, 4 days ago, 55% approval. Yeah, I think Chuck Schumer's wrong. That would be I know some of you are like, what? Chuck Schumer wrong? That's impossible. I know you feel shocked by that, but I think he's wrong. I think Democrats have no idea what they're doing. They are screwing up so badly, it's embarrassing. Now, why would I care? You might say, wait a minute, Larry, why do you care about Democrats being so bad? You don't care. You're libertarian. Let them die, right? Here is why. What I don't want to happen is that Republicans get too far out in front of their skis and think they're untouchable and trash everything. That is my worry. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. And to the other guy's point, he was right. When they made a push and the people got mad, they pulled back. So I'm hoping they'll keep doing that. That is my hope, that Republicans will push off and then see a problem and then pull back. Just pull back when that comes. My worry is if this keeps going and Democrats are so incompetent that the Republicans just go too far over their skis, and then in comes what I've been saying. There is a Bill Clinton 3.0 waiting somewhere in the wings. Clearly, he's not here now, right? He's going to pop out And when he pops out, he's going to be like, see, I'm the savior. Republicans went too far. And that's how Democrats retake everything. That is my concern. So, yes, I want Democrats to at least be, I don't know, not so insanely incompetent that the Republicans think I'm untouchable. I do whatever I want. Because I have that right now in New York State with Democrats who just do whatever they want, however they want, whenever they want. I don't want that to happen in America with Republicans. I don't want that to happen. So that's why I am concerned. This is really bad. Like, this should not be true. Gen Z is supposed to hate Trump. They don't, right? They don't, but they're supposed to.
For Trump. Well, that poll shows his approval is way up with Generation Z. The Zoomer voters, as they're called, those young votes traditionally break for Democrats. One opinion headline with a warning over the numbers, quote, hidden deep inside new polling is a major warning for Democrats.
It's not just me. That's why I brought that up. So I brought all that up to say one thing. If judges, and this is about to happen, the judges are about to start saying, stop, Trump. Stop. They're in the process of doing it. And they are about to do that, right? Here's the issue. Should he ignore them? This is my opinion, and it may get me in trouble. I don't care. Yes. Just ignore them. The system is broken, and the people are behind you. Ignore them. Keep fixing the problems to the best of your ability. Keep shaking it up. And there will be problems, and you will take casualties. In this war, in these battles, you will take casualties, and you should. Don't stop. At all. I wouldn't. If it were me, and I'm telling you what I would do, Larry, you'd be worried about impeaching. They've already impeached him twice. There is nothing they can do to him. He's already a felon. He's already a felon. What are you going to do? Well, impeach him a third time. First up, no, you're not, because the Republicans are not going to impeach him. They're not going to impeach him. The Republicans are not going to impeach him. It's not going to happen. Democrats are not going to win another election coming up here in a while unless they change something. They're not. So they are not going to impeach him. So he can ignore them all day, all he wants. All a judge can do is say he should be impeached. Okay, great. That's it. A judge can't remove him. Could a judge, in theory, have a warrant for his arrest? I mean, in theory, a judge could do it. No one's going to execute that warrant. It's not going to happen. I mean, in theory, could a judge issue a warrant? Yes, that could, in theory, happen. Is it gonna? No. Is anyone gonna execute? No. So he is untouchable. So he should totally ignore them. I know if I were a governor or if I were president, I would absolutely ignore them because the judges are the reason why we're here. They're the ones who've watched this garbage happen. They're the ones who've done nothing to stop it. They're the ones who have been in horrible embarrassment. Fahim, thank you for the $9.99, my friend. I appreciate the super chat tremendously. Guys, with that in mind, do me a favor. If you're watching right now, if you're listening right now, wherever you are, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Yes, like. That's what it's about. And a bunch of you were teasing me, and you had a bunch of other things. So I'm going to grab some of those also if I could. See if I can find them here. Can I find them? Hold on. They are here somewhere. And I think I'm missing them. Hold on. Didn't you guys have a bunch of them? I thought I saw a bunch of, there we go. Phil says, legislature, I knew enough. L-I-K-E, well done. Lift insane kilograms every day. Largely ignore known elocutions. Limit intake of kinetic energy. Liberty isn't known everywhere. Look at that. And then, of course, Phil, doing so well, had to screw it all up and go, Larry isn't keto anymore. Okay, you were doing so well, Phil, that you screwed that one up. That's fine. I like that. John says, laughable idiots keep entertaining. They do. We just watched that. Thank you very much for that one. So, yes, we have tons of these. Thank you so much. But all the same thing, though. Please, work on it. You can caress it nicely if you want to. You can punch it hard if you want to. Do whatever you want. Please go out of your way. It does matter. Every little bit counts. It is important. If you have not shared this or reposted it, why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate the children? That's what I'm going to say. If you don't share this or repost this into, I don't know, into Facebook or on YouTube or I don't care, LinkedIn. I don't care. If you don't do that, you hate the children. That's what it is. Subscribe if you have not. Follow me to the best of your ability on Facebook, X, and Rumble. All the follows count. I do love the super chats. You just saw Fame do it. Thank you, Fame, for that. Appreciate it. Also, membership, $4.99 per month. Click that subscribe button during the live, or you can do it on YouTube. Just click that join button on YouTube. That's easy. Both of them are good. Either of those will work. Please make that happen. So my answer to my question, should Trump and Elon ignore judges? Not Elon. Elon can't ignore judges. That's a bad idea. Trump must protect him. Trump must just give him a blanket pardon like everyone else does. Trump must protect him. Trump can ignore. Elon cannot. Elon can get arrested. Trump can't. So Trump must protect Elon, and then they must ignore it. That's the issue. We have to keep pushing this forward. And right now, you can see the people are with change. A lot of these people don't actually like Trump. I'll be very forward. I know a lot of them. You guys know people. Some of you are those same people. You don't actually like Trump. I know a lot of people don't actually like Trump. But this is working. So they're like, you know what? I don't like him. But I'm going to shut up. And I'm going to let him do his thing. Because without it, we got nothing. We have status quo, which is creating nothing but pain for Americans. So, you know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut, except when he does crazy stuff like want to take over Gaza and crazy stuff like that, or shut all the payments down. Then I'm going to get pissed off and I'm going to yell. And if he responds to it, I'll go back to shutting up again. And that's what you're seeing happen. And that pollster said so too, right? When he wanted to shut everything down, we got mad. What? And he went, okay, I was kidding. Jokes. I got jokes. That was Trump. I got jokes. It's fun. We can laugh, can't we? And that was it. Backed off. Never heard about that again. And if he does that, we're going to be quiet. We're like, oh, okay. And again, a lot of people don't like Trump. I'm just being very forward. And there's some of you guys who love Trump don't like to hear that. But it's just true. And they voted for him, not because they like Trump. They voted for him because they either thought, well, I just can't stand Harris, or I don't care. I want to burn it all down. I want to change everything. I don't care. I'll take it. I don't like him, but I know he'll do stuff. So fine, I'll take it. Well, they voted for him because Tulsi, RFK Jr., Elon, and they went, I don't like Trump, but I like those guys. So I'll take it. This unity anti-establishment thing was brilliant. And I don't know if it was Trump's idea or whether it was Junior's idea or J.D. Vance's idea. I don't know whose idea it was. I'm not close enough to the campaign to know that at all. I don't know whose idea it was. But whoever's idea it was, brilliant. And I'm sure they'll write a book about it later. We'll know whose idea it was. Whoever's idea it was, I mean, absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, good for them for sure. Absolutely good for them. All right. Let me grab, if I could. This is Lunatic. How are you, my friend? Back in action, I can see. Thank you for the 499. The systems of oppressions had never been sources of security or liberty. Hold on, though. Yes, but. There's a but here. They have very often been portrayed as such, right? You are correct. They are not. But they have very often been portrayed as such. That's the issue, right? So that people believe that if they're oppressed, they will get more freedom. Or if they're oppressed, they will get more security. So just to be clear, yes, but. The individual only secures security. Die not oppressed. Be a man, woman. As this is a norm between you and I, Lunatic. I agree with you in concept. You're asking a lot of the average American who has been told, and I'll go with my city in New York City, who's been told you don't have right to defend yourself. And I wish I was making that up. In my city, you're told you do not have a right to defend yourself. If you defend yourself in New York City, you go to jail. You can't defend your property. If you do, you go to jail. So you're saying yes, but my environment tells me you're wrong and then punishes me if I do it, literally taking away my liberty, taking away my security, and putting me in Rikers Island, the most violent jail in the entire country. That's what my city does to me. So yes, in theory, in practice, it is impossible. Now, to be forward, this has recently changed. The Daniel Penny case has made changes. And now all of a sudden, we're changing how we think about that, which I'm actually happy about. This is a good change. Again, I did not want Daniel Penny to kill that guy, Jordan Neely. I did not want Jordan Neely to die. I did not. And I said, and Jordan Neely did not deserve to die, and Daniel Penny did not deserve to go to jail. So it sucks that Neely's dead. He should not be dead. But what Daniel Penny did was not wrong. And I'm not unhappy with that at all. And I think that he should have gotten off. I think he should have gotten off. I'm glad he got off. And it told the rest of the country and the rest of the city, okay, these days are over. We're not putting on this anymore, which is not. Stop. So we're on our way, but we're still far away, brother. I'm just being honest. We are very far away from this. So, any case. All righty. Let me grab some more of these if I could. All righty. Excuse me. Matt says he's totally a tool and not like a device to do something. And I think you mean Schumer. Schumer is. That's accurate. Schumer is a tool. Schumer is the perfect example of everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party. The perfect example of everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party. He is out of touch, taking charge because he's senior, not because he's good at what he does. Focuses only on what is the establishment says is correct, never changes, focuses on shaming and shaming and shaming no matter what. So, yes. Nate, this is totally off topic, but that's okay, Nate. Larry, I'm sorry I missed yesterday's episode on the Fed while live. Wanted to say Thomas Jefferson had 20-year charter on the bank. Could do a 20-year dial down while legalizing competing metal-backed currency. Agreed. That would be a plan I would like. It used to be, for those who don't know, before we had a central bank, which is the Fed, the government would have, to Nate's point, some type of agreement with a regular bank to say you will be America's bank for X years. It could be 20 years. If I'm not mistaken, I think a couple presidents 7 years. I think a couple did 7 years. But you could make whatever deal. Nate's correct. Could be 20 year, could be 7 years, whatever is the right amount. The point is, we do have to have a plan. I think this plan is a perfectly good plan. I don't think we need 20 years, to tell you the truth. I think we could do less. I think we could probably do 7. I think it's something that we could do. But if they want to go 20, I'll take 20. I'm not going to fight. I'll take 20, right? Whatever. If they think 20 is the answer, okay. But that kind of deal could actually work. I think you're totally correct. We could create that kind of deal easily. Pete, there he is. 36 trillion, 217 billion, 244 million, $743,854.40. And as we're speaking, it got higher. So, yes, 100% true. 100% true. So this piece, this is why so many Americans are starting to get it. They're getting it, right? Like, we don't care. We need change. Jan over on X says, why is Mark Warner standing there? He's charismatic too. He's more charismatic than Chuck Schumer. Throw him in there, right? Throw him in there. Matt goes on to say, like he hasn't even read the damn thing at all in prep. This is my point, Matt. This is my exact point. If it's me and I'm running the party, I'm either going to have someone else write something or someone say something, or at least memorize your speech. That's just sloppy. That's just disrespect to your audience. It's just disrespect to your audience. You might go, well, Larry, can't do everything live. I do, and I'm not a senator. And you see me do all my stuff live. Somehow I can sit here for an hour and a half to 2 hours almost every night and chat with you guys about how I feel, what's happening, what's going on live with no notes. Somehow I can do it. But a senator who gets all day to prep, who has tons of people around him to prep for him, to write stuff for him, he can't. That's too much for him. That's too much for him to do. He can't figure that one out. That's the problem. Or look, if he can't do it, I get it. Say you're the tough guy, show up and intro somebody. This is the idea of charisma, the ability to share the screen with somebody else. So intro, say, hi, I'm Chuck Schumer, super cool guy, because I'm cool guy, because I'm old. Okay, great. I got it. You're old, you're cool, whatever. Fine. Okay. And here is charismatic person who will say something that will make you all think they're cool. Do that. It's fine. It's fine. You're still a top dog. You still make all the money. It's totally fine. And you show up first, or you let the charismatic person start, and then you at the end come in and read some stupid thing and act like you're important. Whatever. There's many ways of him still petting himself, right? There's many ways of him petting himself and still being able to get some charisma going. But they don't change anything at all. They don't. They've learned nothing. They don't stop. Yeah. Andrea, thank you for being a member. Appreciate it. Andrea says, shut it all down. I'm not fighting you, Andrea. I'm just not. Ryan, thank you for $2 in the super chat. Appreciate it. Ron Paul for Fed chairman. That would be amazing as long as it was symbolic, right? If I'd want to follow what Nate's talking about. Like if you put him in charge so he could symbolically shut it down in 7 years, yes. But to be forward, I think he's 88, 89 now. He's in his late 80s now. I mean, look, Ron Paul is Libertarian Jesus. I love Ron Paul. I've been lucky enough to open for him more than once. I have introed Ron Paul in events more than once. I've been very lucky and blessed to do that. I have many pictures with him. I'm happy. Love the man. He's great. He's also 89. Can we leave him alone? Symbolically, give it to him. 100%. He deserves it. He should get it. But let the man chill. I'm just saying. Unless he wants it. Like if he wants to get back in action and he's ready to go, okay. Like I'm not fighting him. Just there's a respect level, Ryan, that I have that I think if I was 89, I'd be like, can I have something symbolic, but I don't really want to start working all over again. Like, I'm good. That's what I think I'd be saying. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, 89 is, just saying. Anyway, there we go. All right. So let me keep going down if I could. And Pete's with you. Shut it down. He's with us. Shut it down. Absolutely. Andrew goes on to say, this is backfiring. Tulsi got more GOP support today. I told you, I think all three of the controversial ones are getting, I think they're all getting confirmed. There's a chance that one of them may not. Maybe. But that's on the off chance. I think all three are going to get it, right? The Democrats have no tools. They have done nothing. They have failed so horribly because, Andrea, I know you're going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but they honestly believed that they could shame their way out of it. I'm not joking. They honestly believed they could shame their way out of it. How do I know that? They have no other plan. That's how I know that. This is their plan. They are executing their plan. Right? When I joked before and I said, the plan for these states is Uncle Joe writes them a check. Some of you said, no. That was the plan. And it was being executed perfectly. That was the plan. Stuff will go to hell and Uncle Joe writes a check. Money printed go burr. That's the plan. Well, here's the plan now. Shame. We'll just keep calling Trump bad names. We'll just keep doing that and talk about things that are illegal and against the law and unelected. And we'll say stuff that the establishment, because everyone loves the establishment, right? That's literally their plan, Andrea. So, yes, it is backfiring. They're actually executing their plan. It's an embarrassing bad plan, but they're executing it. Matt goes on to ask, thank you again, Matt, for being a member. Larry, speaking of Tulsi and RFK, what is up with the hearings? Do you got any info on that? Yes, they are going to go to, and it looks like all three of them are going to be confirmed. It is looking like they're all going to be confirmed. That's where it is right now. We should know no later than Monday. I mean, I think by the end of this week, but no later than Monday. So, yes. So, Mike Voss is walking his dog, but he's with us. See, I had to talk because Mike probably couldn't watch because he's probably watching his dog poop somewhere. So, I had to explain things. So, there we go. Glad you're with me, Mike. Glad you're with me as always. So, yes. All righty. He goes on to say, I thought you noticed Dems were broke when Stephen A. Smith said he's considering running in a Democratic primary. This is something which I actually love, Mike. For those who don't know, Stephen A. Smith, I guess he used to be more of a sports commentator. Now he's that, but also a social commentator. But he really came up as a sports commentator. So he's considering, he says, running for president in Democratic primary. He believes what I said, which is true. He's like, the Democratic Party's utterly broken. there is no bench for them right now. And the reason why there's no bench is because the establishment will not accept any bench. That's the reason, right? So someone is going to have to absolutely fight against them. A guy like Stephen A. Smith does not care about the establishment at all. He will be the Trump-esque personality of the left, right? He would be that kind of person to just go in and just talk trash and act like. The problem is he's a Democrat, but he's not very far left. If like his politics. His politics are very, I don't know, what's the word we're looking for? They're very establishment. I mean, he's very establishment. He would care a lot about bipartisanship and stuff like that. So in theory, he could be, in theory, the Bill Clinton 3.0. In theory, I don't know if he has the ability to talk policy well enough, right? That's the issue. If you want to be a Bill Clinton or you want to be a Barack Obama, you have to have charisma. Now, he does have that. I don't know if you guys know who Stephen A. Smith is. He does have charisma. That's for sure. That he's got. But you can't only have charisma. You must also be a policy wonk. That is how Democrats get their Bill Clinton / their Barack Obama. Both of those guys were lawyers and they were policy wonks. Both of them. Again, you may disagree with their policies, but they knew the policies. They were policy wonks. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is that. If he is, that might change things. But yeah, that's how bad the Democrats are broken. Anybody within the party who wants to run, and ask, Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, right? Both of them far more charismatic than Joe Biden, far more charismatic than Harris, far more charismatic than those two. They were immediately shut down. So was RFK Jr. to the point where he left the party. So unless you don't care at all, you're going to be shut down by the Democratic establishment. They're just not going to let you. They're going to say no. And it's no because we said no. That's why. So, yes. Lunatic says, Ron Paul is no Ross Perot. Just saying. I don't think he's trying to be. But yes, I don't think he's trying to be. You mean for fixing things? Yeah, I think you're right. Ron Paul is much more he's much more ideological. That's true. Ross Perot is much more hands-on. I think that's accurate, which is the reason why I would love for Ron Paul to get this ceremonially, but have someone, to Nate's point, who would know how to make that 7-year plan or 20-year plan, whatever the appropriate plan is. I think it could be 7-year plan, but I will take Nate's 20, whatever, who could actually execute that plan and get us out of this. So, yes. Alrighty. Juan, thank you for the $5. A genie granted you one wish from two choices. Be chair of the Fed or governor of New York. Which would you choose? Has to be governor of New York. Why? Because as chair of the Fed, unless I had an actual president who I was sure was prepared to dismantle, it wouldn't work, if that makes any sense, right? Now, if I was sure, and I'm not sure that's true right now, we're going to find out here coming up here, I might want to do Fed, because if I could dismantle it, if I was sure I could dismantle it, yes. But doing it just to try to make it better and maybe not make the money printer burr as much, not worth it. I would rather make impact as a governor, because once you make impact as a governor, others will follow. So making impact, if I was governor of New York and I made the impact that I wanted to make one, other states would follow in a heartbeat. They wouldn't think twice, because I'd also be ignoring judges, which governors should do. They should ignore most of the judges. Most judges in the states are garbage. So you should be ignoring judges, getting stuff done, fixing problems. You should be ignoring federal funds, giving them all back, saying, I don't want them, and then saying, I'm not paying your taxes anymore. Literally suing the government, saying, I'm not paying your federal tax anymore because I don't want them. So I don't want them, so I'm not paying them. And you cannot tax my citizens, right? You cannot. You can tax the state. You can't tax my citizens. And I'm not paying your stuff. So I'll see you guys in court. That's what I'd be doing, things like that, those types of attacks that other governors would begin to follow, which would then begin to change the entire country. So unless I was sure that I could dismantle the Fed, I'd rather be governor of New York. Plus, I know how I could fix New York. To be forward with you, could I figure out how to dismantle the Fed? Of course I could figure it out, but I actually don't know how to do it. I'm just being forward with you, Juan. I don't know how to do it. Could I figure it out? Yes, I could. But there's probably people who know exactly how to tear this thing to pieces and do it better and faster than I could do it, right? I mean, look at someone like, I would just top of my head, Justin Amash probably could do it, right? He knows how this works. He could probably do it, right? Thomas Massey could probably do it. So if I could get both of them, maybe I become governor of New York, become so popular that I could later run for president, and then put Thomas Massey or Justin Amash as the chair. That's it. See, I had to talk this thing out with you. Thank you, Juan. I'm talking this out with you. I would take governor of New York, do a bang up job to change the country, governor of New York, then wait like 4 years, whatever's right amount, 8 years, whatever, run for president, win the presidency. Then you'd have a president who wants to get rid of the Fed, then bring on Justin Amash or someone like him to take care of the Fed, knowing that we would end it. And we would pick up Nate's plan, 7 to 20 years, whatever the amount. And again, someone like Justin Amash would know what the number is, right? I don't know what that number is. Whatever that number is, we would do that. That would be the plan. And we'd fix it. So I'm going to cheat and get both through governor of New York first. How about that? Took me a couple of seconds to walk through that one. But that is your answer. First, governor of New York, making the changes that would start to cross the entire country, attacking and showing the value of states and localism so that I could then move into the presidency, so I could then support other governors who would want to follow the same things that I did in New York State. I would defend them completely, making more and more states like that, getting back to localism, getting back to freedom, and then appointing someone to destroy the Fed. That's the wrong word. To phase out the Fed. How about that? That feels better, right? That feels warm and fuzzy. I feel the love. You feel the love, Juan? Me too. I feel the love. We're going to phase out the Fed. That sounds so good. We'll do that. And then once it's done, we'll yell, end the Fed. There we go. We'll do that. And that will make Nate happy too, because he gets his plan. Maybe we'll bring him on like as I don't know, deputy secretary of the Fed or whatever. Is there such a thing? We'll make up a thing and he'll be that thing. So he can be part of it too. And we'll make honorary chair. We'll make that a thing. And we'll make Ron Paul that. He'll be the honorary chair. So there we go. We've solved all the problems of the world, Ron, me and you. Nicely done. All righty. There we go. Lunatic, thank you for the 49. Larry, really look at Trump now versus Ross Perot. Really compare the two. Use that Trump is Ross Perot 2.0 in action, not in philosophy. I think there are valid comparisons. Yes, Ross Perot was, for his time, the billionaire of the day. You're right. And he did run. He did lose. He ran twice, but he lost both times. He did want to do this. You're right. He also thought NAFTA was a terrible idea. He was the one who said, if we do NAFTA, you're going to hear a giant sucking sound. That's what the jobs go in Mexico. He was kind of right on that. Yes, true. You know what? I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I don't think Trump round one was Ross Perot 2.0, but I think your point's a valid one. Now, okay, I'll buy it. He's Ross Perot 2.0. But the problem is, I mean, yes, but I got to give you a but on this one again, because Perot actually didn't have any plans. He really didn't, to be forward. He really didn't have any plans. He was more like, well, he's going to figure stuff out. Trump actually has some plans, so that's better. And Ross Perot did not have a unity ticket. He was the one-man band. If you remember that, he was a one-man band. He did not have like, we're going to bring it all to the, he didn't have that. He was a one-man band. Trump really did put a team together. Or again, I don't know if it was Trump who did it, right? The advantage of someone like a Trump, and the disadvantage to him obviously also, but the advantage of someone like a Trump is that he is such a strong personality that people can get around him, right? He's easy for people to kind of get around him because his personality is so strong. And it's difficult to find people with those types of strong personalities that people just want to get behind. He's one of them. So did he think of the unity ticket, or does someone else go, we could use Trump for this? Like, we could use him. Like, people get behind him. If Trump says it, I mean, they'll get behind him. We could do this, right? Who else could bring an RFK Jr.? Trump could. Now, did someone do that? Maybe. And then good, kudos to them. It was the right move, regardless if we thought of it. I don't want to, worry about who got the, that thing, but yes. So any case, so yes, similar. Some differences though. Lumsik goes on to say, for $2, I thought Lars was an extra Ross Pro. I was hoping he would have been. Absolutely. So I'm not going to get triggered. Mike will be mad at me if I get triggered. So I will not get triggered. I will just say, to your point, Lunatic, I gave the Libertarian Party an opportunity to put Lars Mapstead into the driver's seat, to set the party up for the future, to get rid of all the stupid back and forth that we've been doing for the past 3 to 5 to 10 years, whatever it's been, all the back and forth, to put it all away, to put somebody in power, in a position of authority, who was not part of any caucus, who could self-fund, who had actual plans, who had an actual team, and who now we know, looking back with hindsight, would have gotten an electoral vote, at least one electoral vote for the Libertarian Party last year. If you think that's not true, you're full of crap. It's absolutely true, and it would have been Omaha. Look at the numbers. There was no Democrat running. We would have absolutely won Omaha. Yes, we would have got the one electoral vote I was telling you about. We would have got orange, gold on the map. We would have got gold on the map. That would have happened. And once RFK Jr. dropped out, we might have gotten all those votes. It is possible we could have gotten 5%. That's not sure. I am sure 100% we would have got electoral vote. Guaranteed. Would we have gotten 5%? Maybe. I don't know if that would have happened. Depends on what would have happened with all the RFK Jr. people. Because we're already talking to them. We're already connected to them. We're already working together. Already having conversations. Nicole, Shanna, and him know each other. They were already talking. All of that would have happened. You would have watched the Libertarian Party be a real thing. But we didn't get that because they wanted to virtue signal instead. And what do we get? Lots of virtue signaling. Well done. See, Mike, I didn't get triggered at all. I just talked about it and I moved on. No triggering. I was good. All righty. So let me keep going. All righty. Mike says too late. I didn't get triggered. I was good. Why are you mad? I just talked. I was good. There we go. I just talked. That's all I did. I was good, Mike. You don't got to be mad at me. So yes. All righty. Let me keep going if I could. All righty. Mastermind saying Lauren Boebert's charisma ends with a handshake and a smile. I would rather have Lauren Boebert talk. She has more charisma than him. There are so many people with more charisma than him. I would take it. Right? You're right. She isn't perfect when it comes to this at all. She isn't. I completely agree. Better than Schumer. Absolutely. Phil does not like me. I thought he was my friend. I was wrong. Phil said Larry for Senate. I thought you were my friend. I guess that's not true. Okay. There goes that. There goes that. Phil, thank you. Ryan, thank you for the $10. Perot was leading in 1992 when he dropped out for 2 months. I remember that. He was like, someone was coming after his family or something. Is that right? He was strong with economic conservatives. He was the reason that two parties have come together and keeping only duopoly in debates. That's true. A lot of you don't know that. Ross Perot was both great and terrible for independent parties. He was great in that people thought, oh my God, independents could possibly win. Look at this. One of the reasons why Jesse Ventura became governor of Minnesota. Not the only one of the reasons why, right? Reform Party kind of started a Reform Party a little bit. Did some of it, didn't really work as well. But yeah, but the second thing is the Democrats, Republicans said, okay, we can't have this anymore. We're going to end this. And they literally made sure everything wasn't going to work. They made all the rules because of Ross Perot. You're right. That's when ballot access became impossible. All that because of Ross Perot. Correct. Yes. So I'm looking over at Instagram, and Jay says, "Can you run for president again?" I never did. So I never did run for president. So I cannot do it again. Could I do it? I could do it at one point. Yes, I'm open to the idea of it at one point, but no, I've never run for president. I have run for the vice presidential slot multiple times. First time was with Gary Johnson in 2016. And the Libertarian Party said, no, we'd rather have Bill Weld instead, because that would be a bad idea. What could go wrong? They didn't listen to me. They did not. I then ran again in 2020, and I said, give me Judge Jim Gray. Judge Jim Gray has a plan, which was the plan we talked about, the same one that Lars had in 2024. Judge Jim Gray agreed to in 2020. I told the Libertarian Party this. Judge Jim Gray has a plan to actually get some electoral votes, to actually get 5%. He's got money. He's got a plan. He's got a name. He's retired. He can be a full-time candidate. I will be on board. I'm his VP. We'll be a full-time candidate. We'll make this work. And they went, no, we want to go with Joe Jorgensen, who was a part-time candidate and didn't get 5% and didn't hardly raise any money and did the same thing that we always do. So that's when I ran for VP again. And people didn't understand this. They said, but Larry, if Judge Jim Gray doesn't win in the presidency, you'll still, run for VP, right? I said, no. He goes, why? You could be the VP. Why would I want to do that? Running a BS campaign is easy to do, and people do it all the time for a vanity project, right? Oh, I ran for this. They don't do anything. But if you run an actual campaign, it is brutal. It is punishment. It sucks up your time, energy, and money. It gives you gray hair. It destroys your relationships if you run a real campaign. That's how people don't do it. They do it one time, and then they do it again because it is brutal if you do it right. I'm not doing it just so I can have a vanity project. I have a show with my name on it. I have enough vanity projects. I'm good, right? I'm good. I don't need that. I've been on Joe Rogan. I'm good. Like I've done the cool things. I don't need that at all. So no, I didn't run it. So second, Judge Jim Gray lost. I dropped out. And then when Laura was doing it too, everybody was like, oh, it's okay because Larry will still be the VP. No, I told you, idiots, I'm not doing that. I told you I'm not doing it. And Laura's lost and I dropped out. Again, I don't require that. Maybe one day I might run for president. That could happen. But I'll do it because I think I can make impact. I run when I can make impact. That's when I run. I don't run for some vanity project. I run when I can make impact. If I can't make impact, no thank you. That's all I can say. So, all right. Let me keep going down this road if I could. So, yeah, I know he wants me to be senator. Come on, what are you doing? I think I triggered on the senator piece. So, yeah. All right, let me see if I can grab some more of these. So many of these. Ryan says, CNN should just call themselves OMG Network, as every news that happens anymore, they amp it up to OMG levels. You're not wrong. That is true. You're not wrong. They do, but they kind of have to, don't they? They kind of have to. So, yeah, I do think it's why else would you watch them? Right? Why else would you watch them? So, all righty. Search and destroy. You asked a specific question here. Can Trump ignore the judges legally? Okay. Obviously, no, right? You can't ignore a judge, right? Legally, right? Legally, no. But can you? Constitutionally? Maybe. Right? There have been presidents who've said, literally, judge can say whatever he wants. You don't have an army. What's he going to do? Enforce it. Enforce it, judge. Do it. There have been executives who said that. Judge said so-and-so. I don't care. Is he going to come arrest me? Does he have a police force? Does he have an army? No, I don't care what he says. Now you might go, that sounds terrible. It does sound terrible. And you shouldn't ignore judges, except when the system is garbage and it just destroys everybody. And nobody cares anymore, and the judges are part of the problem, then yeah, you should, right? Then yeah, you should when that happens. So who's going to stop him? And I know he's asking, he asked later, a constitutional scholar. What do I care? What's a constitutional scholar going to say? He can't, he has to keep the law, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just some shit people say. It's another thing people just say. Remember, at the end of the day, and this sounds horrible, but at the end of the day, might makes right. That's how it works in reality. And I tell you this all the time. This is the mob. This is the mafia. And you're seeing it now. I've been saying this for years. And I didn't know that myself. Like, I didn't get it until I ran. When I ran for office, like mind blown. I had no idea what a mob this was. I had no idea this was the mafia. I thought things like the Constitution and stuff like that mattered. No. You think we'd have these laws we have? The Constitution mattered? No. Might makes right. That's how it works. This is the mafia. So can Trump ignore judges legally? No. But who's going to stop him? Was the UN going to step in? This is the mafia. And I know, and for some of you, I know you're upset, like you don't like to hear that. You think that rule of law matters or whatever. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Please don't fool yourself. This is might makes right. This is the mob. That's how it works. So, Mastermind Hour says Trump is suffering from toxic masculinity. Musculinity. It's true. It's true. Yes. Yeah, it's true. Yes. Christine says that's why they don't want Tulsi confirmed. She needs to be punished for being part of the unity ticket. Correct. Accurate. Tulsi and RFK Jr., the reason why they hate them so much, and the Democrats are fighting them even more than Kash Patel. And you would think they would want to fight Kash Patel more, Christine. You would think, because he's the guy who's going to go and destroy the rule of law, whatever, right? That's what they said. You'd think they want to fight him more. No, because Kash Patel's not a traitor. He's an actual Republican. He's an actual righty. That's who he is, and they're fine with it. Whatever. He's one of them guys. They don't like him, but he's one of them. Tulsi, in their eyes, is a traitor. Right? That's the issue. Tulsi, in their eyes, is a traitor. RFK Jr., in their eyes, is a traitor, and they must be destroyed. They must be punished. You're correct, Christine. How dare they go against us? How dare they? But you didn't let them do anything. You punished Tulsi for backing Bernie. And then Bernie, of course, the biggest sellout. The sellout of the year is Bernie. What a sellout. Bernie's the sellout of the damn he's a burnout. He is a sellout of the decade. Worst sellout, Bernie. Oh my God, what an embarrassment he is. His legacy devastated, destroyed. He decided to wreck his own legacy for being the biggest sellout that the Democrats could possibly find. And I thought AOC was going to be bad. No. Bernie's worse. I mean, like by magnitudes. AOC might get there one day. Like she got some time before she can be as big a sellout as Bernie. She can get there. She works hard. She can do it. But right now, Bernie's the biggest sellout. No doubt. So Bernie sold out too. Tulsi Gabbard supported Bernie. And they punished her for that. Then she said these regime change wars, which again isn't completely anti-war, but at least kind of anti-war. And if you're a Democrat, that's like, wait a minute, you must love all wars. What do you mean you don't like regime change wars? What? You have to like all the wars. You're a Democrat. And she was like, I don't like all the wars. I like some of the wars. I don't like these. No. You must love all the wars. You're a Democrat. That's how that works. You got to go. And she went, oh, well, then I guess I'll become a Republican. What? You can't do that. You just have to accept your shame. You must accept your shame. She was like, I don't want to accept my shame. I'm going to go become a Republican. Same thing with RFK Jr. You must accept your shame. And he's like, I don't want to accept my shame. Well, you must. Well, I don't want to. Boom, we have to punish you. So they give her extra shame now. She now gets double the shame, Christine. Double the shame. North Vixen, how are you? I like your tongue hanging out, and thank you for being a member. She says, thank you. Keep up the good work. I am doing my best. Yes. Dave asks, I think it will be wrong for Trump to ignore judges. If Trump is allowed to get away with it, the Democratic president will ignore judges in the future. That's the problem. See, you bring up a very valid point, Dave. You do. You bring up a very valid point. If he begins to ignore, others may also. But I think no. Why do I think no? Because the system has to protect itself. It has to. It has to protect itself. So I think that once he does this, they will then create rules or guardrails or something to stop it. And unless you're another Trump-like figure, you won't. That's my gut. That's what I think will happen. But you're right. That's a fear. It's a valid fear. Here is my concern. If someone doesn't change things, nobody will. This country's in trouble. Really in trouble. You see it, Dave. So do I. I do not think Trump was the best person to do this. I don't. I don't think everything he's doing is exactly the way I would do it. I don't. I just don't see any other answer. You saw what I try to do, Dave. I try to go through the system and change New York State. And what I get, I got the big green weenie, right? Stuff's worse in my state now. So I try to go through the rules. I sued the state. I went to court 8 times. My name's on it 8 times. Larry Sharpe versus state of New York. 8 times. And against federal government too, right? Against the Board of Elections of New York. Not state of New York, the Board of Elections for New York, right? I sued them 8 times. I went through everything. And the judges ignored me and they told me to go to hell. I gave them evidence. I showed them. They wouldn't let me speak. And my name was on. Oh, I'm getting triggered again. Mike, I'm going to be good. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. My name was on the lawsuit. I went pro se so I could speak. And they still just made up a rule. I'm not joking. There are people who are watching who were physically there at the actual courthouse in the courtroom when they made up a rule to stop me from speaking. That's judges. When those judges decide that there is no opportunity, you may not speak, you may not get justice, then you ignore those judges if you have the power to do so. I don't care what precedent it sets. If you make peaceful revolution impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable. They keep doing that, and they get shocked when people ignore them. Desperate people do desperate things, and they keep making people desperate and go, I don't know why we keep doing desperate things. Because you keep making people desperate. You could stop that, and they stop doing desperate things. But they won't, Dave. And you see it. They won't. This is what happens. So I get your fear. It's a valid fear. I can't see another alternative. I tried to do the right thing. What did it get me? Slap in the face. I lost $1 million. I'm not making that number up. You can go check it if you want to. It's public knowledge. $500,000 the first time, $500,000 the second time that I raised. 2 years of my life gone. $1 million gone. How many of you can say they raised $1 million and threw it in the garbage? I did. Yes. If you raise $1 million, you should get something for it. It should be better. I didn't expect magic, but I wanted it to be better. It's worse. Last year, New York State was the only state in the entire union that had no independent candidate on the ballot for president. Only state. It got worse. It got worse. In 2022, we had no independent candidate on the ballot for governor. First time in 80 years. It got worse. So I'm not mad at this, Dave. Valid? I'm not mad. So, yes. Lunatic says, Ross made independent thought okay. Agreed. I think that's true. Thank you for the $2, Lunatic. He goes on to say, we're still screwed unless we un-F ourselves. I've been saying that forever. This is why I want localism. This is why I want localism. You are correct. This is why I want localism. Yes. Ryan says, thank you for the $2, Ryan. Both parties use the Constitution as scrap paper. Yep. They use it. They use the Constitution to back whatever policies they want whenever they can, and they say how dumb it is when they don't like it. That's it. It's a prop. The Constitution is a prop. Yes. Phil says, can Trump say judges broke separation of powers? Of course he can, and he probably will. He'll make some kind of argument like that. Of course. And it won't matter. He'll do something like that. Of course. And nothing wrong with that. I agree with it. Yes, absolutely. So Lunatic says, Trump has the Nikola Tesla time machine. I don't think he has that. That would be amazing. I want to borrow it if he has it. I do want to go back to it. So yes. P says, I'm not joking. I wish I were. I know that I keep saying that. I say that because when I hear myself say the things, Peace, I sometimes think, do they really believe me? Like, do they believe me? If this was 2017, I wouldn't believe me, right? Like, I hadn't gone through this until 2018. That's when I really went through it. And 2018 is when I went through it. Before that, I don't know if I would have believed me. I'd be like, this guy's full of it. It's not true. None of that stuff's true. But those of you who've been listening to me for a while, You keep seeing what I talk about keeps coming to pass. You keep seeing it. Yeah, that's what Larry said. And that happened. Oh, he told us that. And then that happened. That's what he said. And then that happened. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I learned a lot running for office. I learned a lot. And I remember it all. Get your ass kicked a couple times. You learn some lessons. That's all I can tell you. You learn some lessons. And I did learn some lessons. This is true. I did learn some. So yes. Liberty or Death says, thank you for being a member. Bernie is as establishment as it gets. The Dems blatantly screwed him, and yet he still continues to simp for them or pretending that he's anti-establishment. Yes. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. Correct. That is the piece that is exactly true. And look, there are some people who still have, and I get it, they still have a warm, fuzzy feeling for him because at one point he was like their flag bearer, right? He was the standard bearer. So I do understand that they have that warm, fuzzy feeling. The problem is it's just no longer true, if it ever was. Do I think that maybe Bernie did feel like he could be that standard bearer? I think he did think that. I do. This is my opinion. I don't know Bernie at all. Never met him. So some people, I've met. I know. I do not know Bernie at all. Never met him. This is just my view from the outside. I think at one point he actually thought he could be that person, Liberty. I think he did. And then he realized how hard it was and went, I'm not worth this. It's not worth it. I'm not doing this. Yeah. I'm done. So that's what I think happened. I think he actually did think he could and then just said, I'm not there. So yes. Ryan, lunatic libertarian, you're 100% correct. Fasting if possible. Oh, we're talking about, getting sick. Yes, I do the same thing. I often know I'm sick because I had no appetite. When my appetite goes away, that's when I know that I'm ill, when that happens. So yeah, I think fasting is a great idea. Fasting gets you into autophagy, right? Gets you into autophagy, which helps you clean things out. So fasting is a great idea, right? I'm a big fan of that. Not eating for like literally 2 or 3 days. I just fasted about a month ago. I fasted for 3 days. So I will fast anyway, even if I'm not ill, I'll fast. Just every once in a while, fast for 2 days or 3 days or even 24 hours. So I think I'm a big fan of fasting. I think everyone should fast here or there when it's appropriate. So yes. Phil says, Shanahan and Meghan McCain said they're going to fund primaries against people who voted against Tulsi. And RFK Jr. Yes, both of them. I think it's a great idea. Absolutely. Brendan says, hey, Larry, your show is awesome. I'm watching from Caledonia, Canada, 1 hour from Toronto. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad. Everyone is welcome. Absolutely. So, yeah. Let's see here. Masterman Hour says, teacher says, every time my bell rings, Larry gets his like. Aw, I need more of that. Yes, I definitely need more of that. Yes. Phil says, Larry won't survive the boog. Not enough meat in those bones. Okay, Phil, if the boog comes, who do you think the commanders are going to be? Just saying. If the boog comes, whoever leads this will require generals and field marshals. I'll be just fine, my friend. I appreciate it. I'll be just fine, my friend. Absolutely. Says the story. Can the president arrest a federal judge for obstruction of the executive branch? This is the hardest part that people don't get. And this is the part that worries me. And this goes back to what Dave was talking about, setting precedent. Can he arrest a judge? 100% he can. No, he cannot. Yes, he can. It's called the Patriot Act. Yes, he can. He can arrest a judge whenever he deems fit. And since he's doing this to literally do his executive work, because obstructing the executive branch, the Supreme Court has said it's not a crime. So he has both the Supreme Court saying it's not a crime, and he has the Patriot Act. The only way of stopping him would be to impeach him. That's it. The Republicans are not going to impeach him. So yes, search and destroy. He can literally arrest a federal judge. If any of you think he can't, you are fooling yourself. He absolutely can. I'm not saying he will, but this goes back to Dave's part. If he does that, this is not beyond Trump to do. It's not beyond him. Now, if he did, there'll be a part of me that would be giddy. I would love a judge taking their own medicine that they dole out every day, all the time, and punish people for breaking stupid rules and laws and destroying people's lives all day long. I would personally be giddy at that if he had done that. But today's point, I'd be worried. Do we want to start a precedent where presidents arrest judges? That's scary. So, but can he? 100% yes. Yes, he can. Christine says, I'm okay with Trump. The crazy stuff is part of the art of the deal. I'll go back to it. I don't know how else you do anything. I don't think there's no other way, is there? If you know some other way, Christine, I'm open. And I don't see the Democrats having other answers. I don't see it at all. I don't see any other thing whatsoever. Nothing else is happening. So yes. Rick says, I was a double hater, but the Dems have taught me to be open to Trump. And now I'm on the verge of being a fan of Trump. Rick, it's funny you say that. I'm not a Trump supporter. I think you know that. People know that. But I'm like, okay with it. Like, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Whatever. I am. It's clear I am. Your point is a valid one. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be quiet. It's fine. Go ahead. Go. Like, I'm not mad at it. Right? The first Trump presidency, I was mad at him all the time. Biden, mad at Biden all the time. I was mad at the president all the time. Like, that was the norm. I was always mad at the president. I was always mad. Now, that's where I am now. Rick, I'm with you. I wish that wasn't the case. I preferred when I was always mad at the president. I preferred always being the two critics at the Muppet Show, the two old men always mad at the president, always complaining. I preferred being that guy. Now, I'm not so mad. Not so mad. So, yeah. Mastermind Hour goes, Rick, you got everybody on here. Rick, I think it was a lot of people. Matt says, Rick, I agree. Yeah, a lot of people I think are similar to you. We're just like, okay, let's just let it go. Let's just let it go and see what happens. I think a lot of people are there. So, yeah. So, all right. See if I can grab here a couple more of these. Matt says, this is off topic too, but I just made kakuni, Japanese braised pork belly. That's delicious. And it's weird. A year ago, I was like a boy, I better eat this sparingly, and come to find out, oh, animal fats are great for you. Yes, that's accurate. That's delicious. Yes. Like bacon's good for you. People like bacon's good for you. Yeah, it is. It's actually good for you. Yes. So, excuse me. Phil says, yes, I heard that. I would rather economist Bob Murphy. Yes. Good idea. I'm with you on that one, Phil. Ron Paul needs a well-deserved pina colada and easy chair. Well done, Ron Paul. Well done. Yes, and yes. I agree with that 100%. Yes. Daniel says, Trump can abide by the court and push Congress to get moving on a budget that reflects the Project Doge cuts. Yes, he can do that. I don't know. Trump is not doing much stuff domestically. If you've noticed, it's not his key. I think he is really relying upon Johnson to do this. Now, that may be a mistake. I don't know Johnson well enough, but the advantage that Johnson has is he is establishment enough to know how this works, if that makes any sense. He's establishment enough. I think Johnson may be the right guy for this. I could be wrong on that, but I wasn't that mad when he won again. A lot of people were upset about him winning. I wasn't that mad. I think to get this thing done, you got to have some establishment in here because there's too much establishment involved, if that makes any sense. I know some of you are mad you hate the establishment. I know. But the reality of it is it still exists. The establishment has not gone away. It just hasn't. So you do need some establishment in here to make this work. So I think Johnson may be the right guy for this. I don't think Trump's really involved in this one that much, to be forward with you. I don't think he is. I think he's thrown this at the thing that Trump has done better than he did last time, clearly, is he's put a better team together and he's got them out doing stuff. And they are. I think he's walked away from a lot of that. I really think he has. So, yeah. Anyway, Mike says, I can do it live for 5 hours or more. I've seen you do it without $200K a year and tens of millions of civil servants' income. Also true. Yep. Chuck doesn't care enough to know details. not only does he not care enough, I don't know if he's bright enough. I don't mean to be mean. It's being forward. It takes a lot of time and energy to go through this stuff and other stuff. So, yeah, it does take a lot. So, yeah. Jeff says, I was very skeptical of Trump's plan for the Gaza Strip. That was until I watched the meeting between Trump and Jordan's King Abdullah II. Hearing both of them, I think the way Trump and many leaders in the Middle East have a potentially solid plan. Between rebuilding Gaza and the potential for peace in the Middle East, mainstream media made it sound like they're going to kick the Palestinians out for good. It's not the case at all. They've been terribly housed them in surrounding countries. I'm not sure that's true, Jeff. I am still super worried about this. I am very worried about this. This has so much potential to go under and to be a problem. And the other thing is, Americans don't like this because there's so much of potential for American troops to be on the ground. And I do not want American troops on the ground in the Middle East. Do not want it. No, thank you. Don't want it at all. So I'm worried. I hope you're right. I do. Don't think so. I think this is a disaster plan. And King Abdullah did not all of a sudden go, oh, yeah, I'm in. He went, I'll take like 2,000 kids. That's what he said. He didn't go, I'll take 500,000, which is what he'd have to take. 250,000 at least. He said 2,000 kids, like literally kids, meaning orphans. I'll take 2,000 orphans. Great, because then he'll give them to Jordanian families. They won't be rebels, and they'll become Jordanian. He's fine with that, right? He's not saying, I'll take 250,000. He's not saying that. Now, he comes back and says, I'll take 250,000. I'll take 500,000. Give Egypt 1.5 million. I'll take 2.5. I'll take 250. Give Egypt 1.5, and we're good. That happens, I'll start rethinking. I'm happy, but at least I'm rethinking. He didn't say that. And then my whole plan, this whole idea I brought up, was not forcing them to leave. My plan was years ago to literally just bribe the Jordanians and Egyptians to take as many as who would go voluntarily. Now you might go, but Larry, the Palestinians, the Gazans would never leave. Some would have left because they were unhappy. It's just human nature. Who knows how many would have left? Maybe 500,000, maybe 200,000, whatever number would have left, right? That number would have voluntarily left and then created a community in these other countries that will be welcoming to Gazans by now. If you had done what I said 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, there would be welcoming communities in these other nations now that could absorb the refugees. That was my entire point. Do it voluntarily, not aggressively, not cleaning them out. Hey, you want to take 20 grand and go buy some land or buy a home or whatever in Jordan or whatever the price would be, or in Egypt? Here we go. Go ahead, go. Some would have gone. Who knows how many? But some would have, because that's human nature. Now, right, if that were the case, right now we'd have a space for them to go. We'd have a system set up already. We'd have a back and forth happening already. That will be happening voluntarily without having to go through and trash the joint. But we don't do that. Anyway, I have yapped away. So I'm not getting triggered. Don't be mad at me, Mike. I'm not triggered. So yes. All righty. Let me keep walking down here if I could. All righty. Let's see. Brandon says, when was the first war USA got involved in, not in the Americas? 1800s. It was the war against the Barbary pirates. 1802, 1801, something like that. Yeah, something like that. War against the Barbary pirates in North Africa. That's where the one part of the U.S. Marines from the hulls of Montezuma, the Marines him, from the hulls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. That was the Barbary Pirates War. I think 1802, in that area. Early, very, very early 1800 something. I think it's 1802. I think. So, all right. Searching the Story says, again, thank you for being a member. Stephen A. Smith isn't very smart, so he can run as a Democrat and probably do decent. He has one thing you can't seem to find with Democrats, though: charisma. Nice to have some of that. Yes. So, Lunatic Libertarian, thank you for $2. The level of disgrace on Israel. The level of disgrace on Israel? Or do you mean level of disgrace on Israel? Look, Israel, and a lot of you didn't get what I was saying. This was last year. I told you all this. I told you Israel wants a buffer zone, and it wants it quick and now before the Ukraine war ends. Why? When the Ukraine war ends, whenever this happens, I hope this year. If the Ukraine war, whenever it ends, we are going to have literally tens of thousands of drones available, tens of thousands of soldiers available, and hundreds of drone pilots available for mercenary work throughout the entire world, right? So do the Israelis want all those drone operators, drones, and mercenaries in the Middle East, in Syria, in Lebanon, whatever? Of course not. I wouldn't. These are battle-hardened guys who've been fighting in Ukraine for 1, 2, or 3 years, whatever the number is. And now they can get paid to go there? I don't want that. So do it now while the war is going, because Russia right now is clearly completely absorbed with Ukraine. They couldn't save Syria. They couldn't save Iran. They couldn't save anything, right? So the Russians are completely absorbed. Perfect timing for the Israelis to do this. They did. They wanted a buffer zone. People are like, is that what they want? I said, they want a buffer zone, and they now have it. They invaded Lebanon, buffer zone. They invaded Syria. People didn't think they would do that. I told you they would do that because they wanted a buffer zone. They invaded Syria. They had a buffer zone. Now they're going to have it in Gaza too. They wanted a buffer zone. That is what the Israeli government thought was right for Israel, and they were going to get it no matter what. They were going to get it this year before the Ukraine war ended. I told you that last year. That's what happened. That's what happened. So you can be mad at the Israelis if you want to. I get it. I understand it. This is what they wanted. This is what they got. And people got mad at me. They said, oh, they can't do X, Y, and Z. America won't. And I told you America would back Israel no matter what they did. That's what I told you. You didn't believe me. And I said they will back them no matter what. People, you guys who wanted, the Gazans should get X, Y, and Z. I said they're never going to get it. It's not going to happen because Israelis won't let it. And the Americans will back Israel no matter what it does. That's what I told you. And you can see it now. That's how we think about buying Gaza, whatever we're doing, whatever. We will back them whatever they want. That is what will happen. So is disgrace on them, or is it on our government for backing them? Or both? You pick. Still true. Just saying. Still true. Either way, still true. Okay. Let's see here. Matt says, if only my video editing skills were better. Oh, I see you do. Okay. That's totally different from something totally different. Okay. Everyone's talking about peanut butter and jelly. I like peanut butter and jelly. I do. I can't eat it anymore because I'm keto. So I don't eat peanut butter and jelly. I don't eat peanut butter because keto, jelly because keto, or bread because keto. So yes, none of those. Yeah. I can't eat any of them, but I do like them. It's delicious. That's true. It's delicious, but yeah, there's no way I could do that. So Phil says, love, infinite, kindness, eternally. Yes. What does that stand for? LIKE. That's the button that I've been telling you about. Click that thing, caress that thing, like that thing, whatever that thing. Do the thing with it, please. If you have not reposted or shared it, it's because you hate children. I don't know why you hate children. Stop hating children. Repost this or share this. If you can, please follow me on Facebook, X, and or Rumble. Subscribe on YouTube. And when you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you click all notifications. That does matter. So you get all the notifications. If you don't click that, you don't get them. So please do so. You can also become a member if you want to, which is important. Become a member on YouTube. Click that join button on YouTube. Or if you're on Rumble, click subscribe during the live. You can also super chat me. You've seen a bunch of super chats come right to the front. I try to grab them to the best of my ability. Otherwise, I try very hard to grab our members to get their comments first if I can. It can be challenging, but I do try to the best of my ability. Absolutely. We're trying to make that happen. Look, the more people that become a member, the less work I have to do, the more of this I can do. So, yes. Brennan says, chair of the Fed is better than governor of New York because you could slow down inflation. Yeah, but it just popped back up. I could fix it. I could fix it. Kim says, I agree, Ross 2.0. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for being a member, by the way. I do appreciate that. Yes. Christine says, Perot would have had the same trouble in his first term that Trump had. Trump's killing it now because he knows what he's up against. I think that's a valid point. I agree. And I bring this up often, that people, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Compare Bill Clinton and George Bush compared to Obama and Trump, their first term. The first terms of Obama and Trump, they both struggled and slowed down. They couldn't get what they wanted done. There was a lot of starts and stops, a lot of issues they had a lot of trouble with. The first term of Bush and Clinton, they got their agenda done a whole lot better. They were much more effective. Why? Why would they be much more effective compared to those two? Again, two Democrat, Republican. Why? Because Bill Clinton and George Bush were both governors first. To your point, Christine, they had learned their lessons in being governors. They had understood how to work in the bureaucracy, how to work with Congress. They knew how to do this already, to your exact point. So when they got into the presidency, they had played this game already. Obama was never a governor. Neither was Trump. So both of them suffered. You're right. But now Trump dealt with it. Now it's his second time. He's like, oh, no. I played this game. Now I know how this game is played. I think you're exactly correct. And you see that when governors become presidents, they tend to have a better first year than those who become president without being governor. You do see that. I agree. So yes. All right, let's see if I can grab here. Cheyenne says, good job. I think you meant on me not becoming triggered. I'm trying my best to not become triggered. So yes, I'm trying to be good. Mike gets mad at me when I get triggered. So I'm trying to not make Mike mad. He gets mad at me if I do it. So yes. Christine does go on to say Johnson Sharpe would have been a dream ticket. Agreed. And no one wanted to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. But what are you going to do? We'll see what's going on. Liberty Death. Jorgensen was a horrible candidate. She loves him when he raised her fist with BLM. Jorgensen wasn't necessarily a bad candidate. The problem was Jorgensen was an academic and a part-time candidate. She was still teaching. Like she was still had a job when she ran for president. That's the problem. You can't run for a major office and work. You can't. It's not how it, you can't do that. When you do that, you have insulted the people who gave you money. You insulted them. So yeah, she wasn't a bad candidate. She was an academic, so she spoke as an academic, which wasn't very charismatic. And she was a part-time candidate. I'm not an academic. I speak like a fast-talking New Yorker. That's what I speak like. And when I run, that's all I do. I'm a full-time candidate. If you're going to run a serious campaign, you must be that. Or you're not running a serious campaign, which is fine. A lot of people don't. But if you're running, if I'm going to tell people, that you need to give me money and you need to show up at my events and you need to tell your friends to vote for me, and I'm going to push you to do all that stuff, Liberty Death. I'm going to push you every day. Do it. I got to do it. I got to push every day. If I'm going to sit here and tell you, you need to, which if I run for office, I will be telling you that, then I have to do it. You hear me say all the time, and I mean it. I don't get to point my finger at you until I point it at myself first. And I like pointing my finger at you. I really do. So that means I do a whole lot of pointing it at myself. A lot. And I do. If you see me, I do. I pointed at myself. When I first ran for office, the first thing I did, and for those who remember, it's 2017 when I did it, I wrote myself a check for $10,000. I put 10 grand into my own campaign. Why? Because how am I going to sit here and point my finger at you and go, Liberty, you got to give me money. Phil, you got to give me money. Ryan, you got to give me money. How am I going to do that if I don't do it myself? I put my own skin in the game. Now I can say, give me money. Why? Because I gave myself money. I put my own skin in the game. You got to put yours in now, right? How can I tell you, hey, Phil, don't go to work today. Come to my event. What do you mean? Well, I'm not working. So how can I tell you, Phil, to don't go to work? Rick, don't go to work. Come to my event. Hey, Ryan, don't hang out with your family tonight. Come to my event. How can I do that if I won't do it? Well, I sacrificed my family and I sacrificed my work. So now I can say, Ryan, don't hang out with your family. Come to my event. Rick, don't go to work. Come to my event. I can say that now because I'm doing it. So that was the issue with Jorgensen. She was not a full-time candidate. She wasn't doing the right thing. That was my issue with her more than anything else. So, yeah. John says, Larry, it'd be cool if you could interview. It'd be cool if you could interview Nicole Shanahan. I'll put that on the board. I'm gonna work on that too. Yes, I'm gonna work on it. I am. Nate says, Vanity VP run, even half-assed one is worth it just for name recognition, especially if you use the platform for advancing third-party ballot access. No, it's not, dude. I'd rather someone else do it. I think Spike did a fine job, right? I like Spike. Spike did a fine job. You don't see him running again, though. But he did a fine job. Spike did a fine job. He did the best that he possibly could do with Jorgensen. He did the best he could. And he's taken it to push liberty and other things. So he's done a great job. I think he was the right answer for him to do that. That was it. So, yes. All righty. Mastermind says, I would vote for Larry, but first I want to know his stance on changing Lake Michigan to Lake Illinois. I think we're going to change Lake Michigan and Lake Illinois to Lake America. There we go. Say I'm a follow Trump, so we're going to call it Lake America. There we go. Does that answer your question? I hope it does. Lake America sounds cool. I mean, doesn't it? I think so. So, yes. Jay Henge says the executive branch is a co-equal branch of government. The president doesn't take orders from the judicial branch. The executive branch is a check on the power of the two branches. So, yes, which is why you could see either way, right? So, yes. Mastermind says, Larry will eventually learn to skip my comments. Maybe. But you are a member, so that'd be good, right? Because you are a member. So I do try to be good to the members to the best of my ability. I try to. I do get a lot of comments. You can see I can't get through all of them, but I try my best. Ryan, thank you for being a member. He says, Larry, amen to Bernie being sellout of the year. I'm now embarrassed that I supported him in 2016. Yes. Yes. Ryan goes on to say, Larry, after what Bernie did to Tulsi, now I'm spicy. Yes. I'm with you. Yes. Matt goes on to say, Ryan, Bernie was absolutely embarrassing at RFK's here. Yes. Yes. 100%. Yes. Mike says, just because Bernie is a multimillionaire communist who flips on policies based on democratic power is no reason to highlight him. Just kidding. Not really. No, but you're missing something, Mike. And that is what Bernie actually was. He was the left's Trump. He was someone who was not establishment. I mean, clearly he was. But we believed, how about that? We believed, there we go, that he was not establishment, that he was the left Trump, that he had actually answered, that he cared, that he wanted to make change, that he wanted to break the system. None of that's true. But because so many who believed it, they're hurt and betrayed. And it's something else, Mike. He could have been that. There was no one else who could do it. He could have been that guy. He really could have been that guy who could have been the Trump of the left. He could have been that guy, and he wasn't. So, yeah, I think that's the piece, right? That's it. So, Nate says, it's all about perspective to the DNC, RFK, and Tulsi sellouts. Valid point. Valid point, Nate. I agree completely. Yes. Mike goes on to go, Biden already ignored SCOTUS. True. Hochul too. True. Has nothing to do with Trump. Dems did it already. The problem is most forgot with help from the media. I don't. I say it all the time. Hochul does it all the time. I mention it like monthly. You're correct, Mike, and I keep saying it. Sadly, people aren't listening to me, so that sucked. Nate says, I was there at the actual courthouse. 2 of 9 anyway. Yes. Nate remembers he was there. He brought his family. Nate, you brought your family, didn't you? Did you bring your mom? You brought your mom, right? Is that right? I think you did. But yeah, absolutely. He was there when they made up a rule for me not to talk. I'm not making that up. That actually happened. Yes. That actually happened. Yes. Cheyenne says, you're the only one I trust, Larry. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Mastermind Hour says, Larry Sharpe, political meteorologist. I am often right. I'm off. Not always, but I'm often right. Not always. I am wrong sometimes. But if you bet on me over time, you're making money. That's what I'm saying. You're going to lose a couple times, but you're going to make some money overall. You are. That's for sure. Yes. That's for sure. Andrew says, General Sharpe would take charge. Just saying, people would absolutely be happy to have me as one of their leaders. I think that's true. They would absolutely do that. Yes. So, all righty. Jean says, my husband had Ozempic in the refrigerator. I was afraid that he would take it. A couple of days ago, he told me that he won't be taking it. It sat in the fridge long enough to expire anyway. Oh, interesting. Look, Ozempic is not a magic pill, right? It's not magic, right? It's not a pill, but it's not magic. The issue here is your health and your weight and your diabetes, assuming you have those things, is that so much of a problem that you're okay taking Ozempic with any side effects because that is that much of a health concern of yours? Then that's a smart move, right? You should do what's right for your health. If you're saying my health is so desperate now that I would rather gamble on Ozempic because without it, like the ball game's over. Okay, I get it. That's a logical choice you should be able to make with your health. My worry is people just go, oh, Ozempic, that's an easy answer. That to me seems insanely crazy, and it really can hurt you. It's not the way you should be thinking, right? You should not be thinking about that. You should be thinking, what is better for my health as I weigh my options? So, Gene, I hope that your husband's Ozempic is in a situation to where he doesn't feel Ozempic is his best option. That is my hope, and that he has other options available for him. But again, if you think that's your best option, I'm not mad at you taking Ozempic. You take what you think is best for your health. That's the issue. I'm not a fan of Ozempic. Clearly, I'm not. I don't want to take it myself. I would hope that my family won't. But if you feel it's the right thing for you, you should be able to do so. So, yes. All righty. Ryan says, keep American troops out of Gaza. Agreed. 100%. So, okay, let me grab a couple more of these, if I may. Lunatic was saying level up. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, that was correct. I'm a little bit late. I got down there. I got down there late, but yes, I did get there. Kitty says, Trump's got a very good team, and I'm not just pulling for RFK and Tulsi. He's got a whole brain trust made up of elite disruptors of all stripes. Kitty, this is the key. What you just said is the key. You're totally right. Yes. Brandon says, when I come to New York City, Larry, we got to play chess. I haven't played chess in a long time. You will probably beat me, but I'll play you. I have several chess sets. In fact, one is right here. I have 3 chess sets. I know, weird. A guy who doesn't play chess, I have 3 chess sets. I actually have 3 chess sets, and I don't play hardly ever anymore. So, yeah. But yes, I will absolutely play with you. Yes, 100%. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, all righty. See if I can go down here if I can. Christine asked an important question. How is popcorn cooked in bacon grease? That sounds delicious, actually. I don't know if it is, but that sounds amazing. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Maybe that's my next thing to try. You guys are killing me on this. I like that. So, yes. Liberty or Dad says, Obama got Obamacare in his first term. I'd have to disagree, Larry. No, but that's not what he wanted. Obamacare wasn't what he wanted. And he struggled to get it. He wanted something more. And he struggled to get it. So, yes. And he wanted more stuff. He pushed for that. And that's all he got. So, yeah. Gene says, Gary Johnson was going to. Yes, I think Gary Johnson would have been a great president. I wish he would have been president. Yes. I agree with you, Gene. I think he would have been a great president. I wish he would have been a president. Yes. Absolutely. And Mike goes on to say, Obamacare was set up before he took office. It was Pelosi's baby, a trailing wish of Democrats since Clinton. That's true. And they wanted the full deal when Clinton did. Remember, they put Hillary Clinton on top of that. She couldn't get that done. Still took backdoor deals, and it's never been fully implemented. Still not fully implemented. You're correct. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Nate says, I like Jo Jorgensen. I did too, Nate. We get along. I liked her also. She's super relatable. It's a shame she didn't get to show that side of her to the mainstream. Again, the issue with Jorgensen was she was a part-time candidate, and she was an academic, and she spoke when she was with individuals, she was good talking. She was just a regular person. But whenever she got in front of a camera or in front of a group, she kind of became that professor because she's a teacher. And for those who don't know, Jo Jorgensen is an actual teacher. Is what she does. She's an instructor, a college professor. So when she got in front of the crowd, she became that professor. So she wasn't the person you could sit and have like whiskey with. She liked whiskey. Oh, was it whiskey? No. Was it bourbon? Bourbon. She liked bourbon. So she didn't do that. She became a professor. So agree with you, but it didn't work. That was the issue. It didn't work. Jared says, I was a Green Party member. I voted for Jorgensen after the Greens rigged their primary for Howie Hawkins. I remember that. I was hoping Jesse Ventura would have run that year, but he didn't. Do you remember why? Do you remember why he didn't run, Jared? He didn't run because what he said is, I'll run if you get me 50 state ballot access. He knew how hard it was. And the Green Party couldn't do it. They couldn't get 50 states. That's why he didn't run. He said it again back in 2016, said it in 2020, said it in 2024. He said it. You get me 50 state ballot access, I'll run. That's Jesse Ventura said. Ballot access is key. That's the answer. So yes. Grace says, Larry, you're a great candidate. Honestly, we just need you to get financial backers. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Nate says, I remember you put your skin in and that in a full Sharpe. Yep. That's why I committed. Thank you, brother. I'm still doing it. I'm still out there. Yes, absolutely. I'm still doing it. Andrew says, change Lake Ontario to Lake Rochester. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Or Lake New York. Lake America and then Lake New York. We could do that. I like that too. There we go. That's not a bad one. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. There we go. Mike says, that's the winning plan, Larry. Follow Trump lead. And yes, Lake America sounds. See that? It's Lake America and then Lake New York. Those are the two new lakes. There we go. Rita says, Lake Michigan could be named the Gulf of Canada after Canada becomes 51st state. There we go. Once we annex Canada, we'll call it the Gulf of Canada. There we go. Done deal. We got all. See? We got all the answers. All of the answers. All good. There we go. I love that. Mastermind Hour says, Bernie LARP as an independent thinker. Yeah. Again, yes. This piece, right? Yeah. Nate says, we believed. You got a mouse in your pocket? I sure didn't. No, I mean, we as a nation, right? If you would have asked people in 2016, the average American, is Bernie, a true believer? Is Bernie, the average American would have said yes. Even if you disagree with him, right? Even someone, Mike obviously disagrees with his policies completely. But Mike at 2016, and people like him, I should say, as a general rule, people who lean right would not have thought he was fake. They would have thought he's wrong or crazy, but they wouldn't have thought he was fake. I think that's the difference, what I mean. Most Americans would not have thought he was fake. Now, that's not true anymore. But I think if you went to 2016, you wouldn't have thought that. So, yeah. All right. Let me grab a couple off of, if I could head over to Rumble. Tradan says, Obamacare was bought and paid for before the primaries were over. Both parties were funded by Health Corp International, underwrites our healthcare. Yeah, I mean, what Obamacare actually was a gift to insurance companies. I mean, that's really what it was. I think that's absolutely correct, Tradan. That's 100% correct. Yeah, it was really just a gift. So, yes. At Yarb asks, did you vote for Obama? 2008, I did. I voted for Ross Perot twice. I voted for, oh God, who's the Green Party guy after him? And I've forgotten his name. That's bad that I forgot his name. They got Nader. I voted for Nader twice too. 2008, I thought Obama was going to be the difference. I thought he was. Within 2 years, I was so upset that I wasn't going to vote at all. That's how I have to thank Obama for bringing me. Obama brought me to libertarianism. Like, what? Yeah, Obama brought me to libertarianism. I was so angry and upset with Obama and how disappointing he was and how he was nothing that he said he was. I was so disappointed. I wasn't going to vote anymore. I was like, I'm done. This is a waste of time. I'm just going to work on my business. Politics sucks. I've been voting for who I thought was the rebel the whole time. That's why I was voting for Perot. So I was voting for Nader. And I thought Obama was a rebel. Yeah, that's how much I was paying attention. I wasn't going to anybody, nobody. And then I heard Gary Johnson speak. And I tell this story often. It's a funny story. I heard him speak, and I'm like, Gary Johnson, this guy sounds like a business owner like me. Oh, okay. Who are these guys? Librarians? Oh, librarians are smart. Maybe this is the guy I should vote for. Oh, libertarian. What's that? And that's how I got libertarians. So I got libertarians because of that. So yeah, I don't want to lie to people, right? I fell for it too. A lot of Americans did. I fell for it too. So yes, I did. 100%. Hope I answered your question. All righty. Let me grab down here if I could. Ryan says, Tulsi should return the knife in her back to Bernie. Yeah, give it back. Yes. Phil says, I tried something like Ozempic. I don't have diabetes, but it most just made me poop. But did it work? Was it worth it? That's the answer. Was it worth it, Phil? I don't know. I'm asking a serious question. If it makes you poop, but it helped you, maybe you should take it. I don't know. Maybe not. So, yes. Anyway, let me keep going down the road if I can. All right. Riot says, I need your help. My wife thinks the Department of Education is needed. Please explain to her why it needs to go. She's the hardest worker at her school. I will tell you why it needs to go. What your wife is dealing with, and I'm sure her biggest concern, her biggest issue that your wife has if she works at a school is bureaucracy, red tape. The vast majority of teachers who quit do not quit for financial reasons. Some do, but most quit because they just can't deal with the BS. So they either become administrators or they quit. They can't deal with BS. Why is there so much BS? Federal strings. Federal strings is what makes so much BS. Why are there so many rules that she has to deal with? Why are there so many things she has to do? It's all because of federal strings. You must do this, report this way, act this way, or you don't get federal money. That's the reason why. Why does she have to teach to a test if she's a teacher? If not, why does she have to support that if she's not a teacher? Why does she do that? Because that's what the federal government requires you to get the money. That's why that keeps happening. Not just that. The Department of Education really got its teeth around 1980. That's when it had teeth. Before that, it had no teeth. It had nothing. It was not really a thing. It was basically a repository for information. Prior to 1980, somehow Americans went to the moon. Americans fought World War II. Americans figured out how to put the internet together. We figured out all these things without having a federal Department of Education. Somehow we figured out how to read and write. I went to school before 1980. Somehow I learned how to read and write. I know how to function. Would anybody say that our education since 1980 in America has gotten better? Nobody who's honest would say that. Our education in every way, shape, or form has gotten worse. If you compare us to the rest of the industrialized world, in 1980, we were probably number one and number two. Now we're like number 40. I'm not making that up. It's like 38, 40, something like that. Certain places we go to 45. Our education system is garbage. Why? Because we don't let teachers teach. That's not a thing anymore. Those days are gone. You go to school like a place like New York State, and you will go to school and take you'll take all types of credentials, all types of studying, all types of debt, all to become a teacher in New York State. Good for you. They become a teacher. Do they say, great, now take all that skill, all that knowledge, all those credentials, and all that motivation you went through, all of that to teach kids? No. They say, shut up and do as we say. That's what you do. You go, but I went through all this stuff. No. Do as we say. Why? Well, because we have to get federal funds. In the case of New York State, it's about $8 billion every year. Yes, about $8 billion. Other states are different, obviously, but New York's about $8 billion per year. They don't give that money up. There are areas of New York State right now where in any given school district, there are more administrators than there are teachers. Let me repeat that. There are more administrators than there are teachers. Why? Federal funds. The Department of Education is nothing but a hindrance. There is no value to it whatsoever. But Larry, how can you not have it? We didn't have it literally for 200 years. I'm not making that up. From 1776 until 1980, for 200 years, we did not have a federal Department of Education. Who taught our kids? The states did. They did a good job. Abraham Lincoln, pretty smart guy. No Department of Education. All our presidents, every one of our presidents, every one of them graduated from school before 1980. Every one of them before 1980. They all graduated from school before 1980. I think Obama graduated at 1980 or something like that. But all of them graduated like then. Every president was educated without a Department of Education. Why do we require one? It just makes things worse. That's all it does. It is not required. It is harmful. Let me say it again. Not only is it not required, it is harmful. It is actively hurting our children. It is actively destroying our teachers. It is actively making us become bean counters and not teachers. It is making centralization the plan and not localization. Teachers should be allowed to teach kids as they see fit to make sure the kids get the best education possible. That is not what DOE does. It ensures everyone gets the same education, whether it works for them or not. Teachers are dismissed by the DOE. Administrators are worshipped. I hope that answers your question. So let me grab if I could. Duke Effect says, thank you for the $5. Obama was the only candidate I sent money to. After signing the NDAA of 2012 and the murder of Anwar al-Awlaki made me go libertarian. Yes, you know what? There's a joke about when it comes to guns that Obama was the best recruiter for guns, right? For guns rights. More people bought guns than Obama than anything else. He was a recruiter for the Libertarian Party too, 100%. The amount of people I know, you're not the only one. Me too, you. He sent lots of us to the Libertarian Party. He did. All the people who thought, oh, he's going to change things. He's different. Yeah. Sorry. Just being honest. That's all. I'm sorry. Just being honest. It's true. So, yeah. Phil says Obama won a single payer. That's correct. He did. He did not get it. Absolutely. Absolutely true. So, yeah. All right. If I can grab this real fast. Mike jumps into right stickers. I was in school same time as Larry. Yep. I had music, typing, woodwork, gym, home ec class, etc. Now kids have rote memorization due to federal quotas. Kids have less and worse test scores. Thank you for bringing that up, Mike. I want to go to the next piece. People say, well, Larry, why don't we have home ec? Not in a test. The federal government doesn't care. Why don't we have civics? Not in a test. Federal government doesn't care. Everything Mike just said, yeah, federal government doesn't care. Woodwork. Shop, no, not in a test. The federal government pushes the teachers and the schools to teach to the test. So all those extracurricular things that would help the kids in life, pushed away. Not just that. How many kids are not going to trade schools? Well, why not? Because that's not how the federal government decides that they're going to reward the school. They reward the high school by college placement. Why? Because the federal government's doing all the loans. So it's their own money. It's their own money. They care about cash. Not about your kid. Maybe your kid shouldn't go to college. Maybe your kid should go to a trade school. Maybe your kid should get a job. Maybe your kid should do something else. I don't know. Maybe your kid should start a business. I don't know. Your kid's your kid. No, all go to college. Why? Because that's how you get paid. Mike is correct. The Department of Education, be very clear, only hurts. It's not neutral. It is actively harming our children. One more time. It is actively harming our children. There is no way that you can show me anything that shows anything else. It's impossible. Yes. So, all righty. Let me grab here if I could. Christine says, I got fooled by Obama too. We're not alone, Duke. We're not alone. A lot of us were. Yep. Gene, same thing. I was voting for Obama the first time. When he didn't do what he promised, I didn't vote for him again. Yes, absolutely. We're not alone. A lot of us were fooled. It's true. It's true. We were fooled. And look, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I was so awesome, right? I'm human. I make mistakes too. I'm not always right. I'm often right, but not always right. Phil says education, no dollar left behind. There we go. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I like that. Liberty that says girls don't poop. That's a lie. Well, I like that. They don't, because they're perfect. Aw, isn't that sweet? I do like that. That is sweet. Christine says of 1979. 1979 when it started, but it started to have teeth around 1980, right? So yes, that's true. But I think it officially started, I think in 77 is when like the charter came out or something like that. So it's in that area. So maybe 79 is the right answer, but it's in that area of about 1980. So yeah, absolutely. All righty. I want to grab another one if it's good. Peace. Thank you for the $5. We don't let teachers teach. We don't let judges judge. We have been captured. AI can fix this. No worries. We got this. I got to tell you, Peace, if judges don't want to judge, then we should replace them all with AI. All replace them with algorithms. I'm not joking. We'd save a whole lot of money on robes and salaries. Instead, replace them all with AI. Either do your job and judge and care about the Constitution, or get replaced by AI. That to me makes total sense. I'm with you. We can repair this. We don't need that at all. So Cheyenne says, we need vocations back in education. Yes. Absolutely true. 100% true. Yes. Christine says, I've been saying this about the Department of Education since the 90s. Because it's true, right? That's the issue. Because it's true. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Yes. Kitty says, bureaucrats are strangling our country to the brink of death, and they almost won. Thank God we're winning now. You're not wrong. Yes, you're not wrong. 100%. Guys, I want to ask you, if I could, please click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. It does matter. Share, repost if you can. Every bit does matter. Every little bit will be great. So yes, please do that if you can. I'd appreciate it. If you can, please also subscribe and follow me, right, on all of the things, Facebook, X, and Rumble. I appreciate all the super chats, but please click the button known as like. Every one of those does matter. I'll hand over to Instagram real fast. At Yarb goes on to say, I love your honest answer. I felt the same way just out of college. Yes, I agree. Yep. He then asks, or maybe she, I can't tell if it's he or she. Side question, are you in a fallout shelter? I am in my bunker. I'm in my Quonset hut. That is correct. Yes, that is very true. So yeah, that's where I am. I do appreciate the questions, 100%. Straight End says, most of our leaders in DC graduated from high school a long time ago. That's exactly right. All of our presidents and most of our leaders went to school before it was the Department of Education. Not required. Only harmful, not required. And I know I bring it up often, but I'll make sure it's clear. That's why I say this. It really does matter. We should get rid of it. I'm glad it's going away. It should go away. That's the right answer. 100%. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me some time today. I appreciate it. I will be back on tomorrow, probably earlier, maybe around 5 or 6, actually. A little bit early show tomorrow for a special reason. I've got some stuff going on tomorrow night. I may not be on Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure. I don't know. I got some stuff going on this weekend I'm trying to work on. I'll do the shows if I can, let you know as I know, but I think I'll be on early tomorrow if we can. Here is the one thing I do want you to do, if you don't mind. When this is over, please come back and put a comment. And the comment is one thing or person you voted for that you wish you hadn't. One thing or person you voted for that you kind of wish you hadn't. I will see you all very soon.